Y'all are this afternoon. This is your buddy George Jones over at Bergen Gun Range with my next installment on 8. I got this old used gun. The old used gun I've got today is this gun, the Russian 9mm Makarov. And this one is in fact Russian made. One of the curious things about this gun is I look at it and typically you'll find firearms that have import-export company markings on them where they've been brought into the country, and this doesn't have any import marks on it at all. I've took it apart and looked for them inside and I can't find nothing. So I'm curious to know how this gun came into the country. Probably in a duffel bag, just to tell you the truth. Probably in a duffel bag from Afghanistan. Anyway, we've got it here and we're going to look at it. The Makarov was a handgun that the Russians brought out they started looking at it about 1948, 49. They had some trials and they had some different people and different design bureaus and so forth that come up with different guns, and an inventor named Untitled Makarov came up with this design and manufactured it in his design bureau, which actually was I believe they made artillery instruments or something like that. And of course, the Russians adopted it. They found it to be very desirable. So you didn't see these guns around in theater combats until after the Vietnam War, even though the Russians had had them in standard service for over 20 years. You know, by the end of the Vietnam War, you still didn't see them really distributing these to the satellites until after. And they're like that, you know. I mean, it took them almost 20 years to let go of AK-47s, you know, and send them out to satellites. So that's kind of the way the Russians operated back in the day. The attributes of the Makarov is that it takes down like a Walther PPK. It has a let's get it up here and check it. It has a non-ambidextrous or mono safety, which when you put the gun on safe, it allows the hammer to drop safely. So it has drop safety on it. It has a heel catch for a magazine release and retainer. It does have a slide stop, and it locks the gun up when it's on safe. It does have a slide stop, exterior slide stop on it, so you can lock the gun back without the magazine in it. Overall, it's a pretty good gun. Now, I've shot a few of these, and I find them to be pretty acceptable. I've got a B-21 police silhouette set up down there at 7 yards, and I've got 2 magazines here. I'm going to put me some ear mufflers on. Get me some ear mufflers on here, and a mixed bag of ammunition. I've got both surplus copper war steel case steel projectile, and I've got some S&B ammunition in there. We're going to try both of them, see how it shoots. The Makarov caliber is the standard submachine gun cartridge caliber for most Eastern European countries. Subsequently, the Makarov ammunition is loaded pretty hot. It's about the size of a .380, but it's loaded, I think it's loaded hotter than a standard 9mm, to tell you the truth, in terms of power and velocity. So we're going to give this gun a try right here. I'm going to shoot me about 8 rounds. And it's a lot more fun to shoot than the smaller predecessors. Pretty smoky. Sights on this gun ain't much, but you know, it's designed to be a close range self-defense firearm. It's not designed to be a world-class tack driver. You know, that's not too bad. I think we can get another magazine out of this. Let's try that. Drop slide, whoop, down it goes. Okay, let's get another mag in. Let's see how this works. See if we can actually hit that 10. See if I can actually hit that X. It's got a little bit more gripping surface on it. The grip surface is a little wider and a little larger overall, and it allows you to maintain the recoil generated by a Makarov cartridge a little bit more efficiently. All right, 8 8/16. Oh Lordy! Let's get her and take a look at her and see what she looks like. Accuracy tends to be, on this model, this particular one, accuracy is pretty good. Okay, let's see what we got here. We got one plumb off the paper right there. That's obviously me. I got one over here, but you got this pulled up with 1, 2, 3, 4 nines, a 10, several 8s. Overall, 15 yards, that's a pretty good shooting gun. 15 yards, that's not a bad shooting gun. You can probably defend yourself with that gun pretty good, 7 yards. That's got to be my standard on this type of gun, is how does it perform at 15 yards? Because if it performs good at 15 yards and it's 7 yards in a defensive situation, you're going to do pretty good with it. At 3 yards in a defensive situation, you're going to do pretty good with it. Works. Good serviceable little handgun. I don't like the heel catch, but other than that, it's okay. It's okay. It's got good accuracy potential to it and functions well. So it's a defensive gun. The value of this gun on the market today is somewhere around $250. Now, I can remember 15 years ago when they started importing these guys into the country, they were coming in and you could buy them at wholesale for $59. And at retail they were somewhere around $80, and basically couldn't give them away. But now they've developed quite a following, and these guys collect Eastern European handguns. This gun, as well as the PA-64, is compliments of the Sailor collection. Nick and his family have a pretty extensive gun collection. They're starting a little museum in Jefferson County, and they loan me guns to use. And that makes them one of my material supporters. And so I actually got a few supporters out there. It's worth about $250, and like that. Maybe a little more if you've got 2 magazines with it. Maybe a little more if you've got a correct matching holster to go along with it. This gun, as it sits, is worth about probably $300, $325, just by the simple fact that it is equipped with an extra magazine and a correct holster. That adds to the value of anything. So that's about the size of that. Like, state, share, commentate, and subscribe. I have a Patreon link in the description page, and we'll see you next time on Hey, I got this old used gun. We'll see y'all.